Today we're going to be cooking a butternut squash, chickpea and spinach curry. The timings are, it's going to take about 20 minutes to prepare. It's going to take about an hour to cook, but don't worry, I will put all of the recipe in the description below. So here are the ingredients we're going to use. We've got one butternut squash, one 400 gram tin of chickpeas, 100 grams of spinach, 2 red onions, 3 large tomatoes, 1 thumb-sized piece of ginger, 1 green chilli, 2 garlic cloves, salt and pepper, 4 teaspoons of madras curry powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander and 1 teaspoon of dried chilli flakes. We're going to be explaining how to prepare the butternut squash today, but there's a couple of things that we need to look at prior to that. The first thing is you need to preheat the oven to 190 centigrade, and the second thing is, I missed off the ingredients, walnut oil. You can use other oil if you wish to. So first we're going to prepare the butternut squash by peeling it and chopping it, and then we're going to start on prepping all the other veg. And this is an unusual thing. I mean, I'm using a peeler to peel away at the skin. It will need chopping into sort of fairly heavy, large chunks, and we'll need to take the seeds out. We are going to cut the ends of the butternut squash off. Sharp knife. You can see already that the seeds are in there. We've got to get all of those out of the middle. So now I'm going to cut it lengthways. And you can see there's quite a lot of seeds in there. We're just going to scoop those out. I don't know if you've ever done a pumpkin, but it's very similar texture inside. Just get a knife on all of those little bits in a second. And then we're going to just start chopping this into fairly large chunks. It's quite stiff. It's actually a bit like a potato in texture. It's quite hard. We just want to get all of these bits out of the inside. To cut it off is probably the easiest thing to do. And as I say, we're leaving it in quite large chunks. It's going to be roasted in the oven for about 40 minutes with some lovely spices. And it's going to taste fabulous. Now we're going to put in the butternut squash into the roasting tin, along with a tablespoon of the walnut oil, and all of the dry spice ingredients. So that's the coriander, the cumin and the madras curry powder all going in, and the chilli flakes, and we're going to have a good pinch of black pepper and a good grind of salt. We're just going to toss that all together in the roasting tin. It's going to coat all of the butternut squash so it looks nice and spicy. And we're going to have then just a quick wash of the hands. And we're going to pop this in the oven, as I say, at 190. And that's going to cook for around 40 minutes. Right, so we've now prepped all the veg and all of the bits that need to go into the recipe. One thing I did forget to mention was you'll need some fresh coriander, which I've taken the stalks off and chopped finely. This is the ginger, the garlic and the green chilli. There's finely sliced red onion, chunky chopped tomatoes, drained can of chickpeas, the 100 grams of baby spinach, and we've kept the leaves from the coriander for later on in the recipe. Now we've got the pan on a very low heat. I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of walnut oil. We've got the pan on a low heat. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of walnut oil in. And we're going to gently fry off the onions. The coriander stalks, the garlic, the ginger and the chilli. This needs to cook on a nice low heat for between 5 and 10 minutes. Give it a nice stir. The onion's going to wilt down a bit, it's going to go a bit softer, and just on a really nice gradual low heat. It smells absolutely amazing. You can imagine the spices coming from the oven at the moment, and also the cooking of this onion with all of these beautiful things in, like garlic and ginger and the coriander stalks. It smells absolutely fabulous in the kitchen now. So as I say, this needs cooked for between 5 and 10 minutes. You can see that it will just wilt down, it will go slightly softer. So we just need to let that cook down a little. You don't need to constantly stir it. Leave it to do its own thing. If you can see that it's catching a bit and going brown, just give it a quick stir around. And we'll come back to it when it's at that point. So here's how it looks. Lovely and wilted down, nice and soft. And we're going to start to add the other ingredients now. So firstly we're going to add the tomatoes. And the chickpeas. And we're going to give it a good stir in. The plan is to cook this for about 20 minutes, and the tomatoes will all wilt down, and we'll just put it on a low heat with the lid ajar for about 20 minutes and let it cook through. Okay, so we're going to get the butternut squash out of the oven now. It's been in there for about 40 minutes, so it's going to be nice and soft, and it does smell absolutely fabulous. Don't forget your oven gloves, obviously. It's nice and hot in there. As you can see, it's quite browned, and it's really soft. So we're just going to close the oven door, switch the oven off, and now this has got to be scooped in to the lovely pan of tomatoes and mixture. that's been cooking now for around 20 minutes. So we'll scoop it in. Put the bits of butternut squash in first, then I'll scrape all of that good spicy curry powder that's roasted up in the oven in afterwards. It does smell absolutely amazing, and I make lots of curries. I really enjoy cooking, and this is the first time I've made one with butternut squash in it, so it's going to be really interesting and something different for our family to try. So let's just have that with both hands. Give it a shake in. All those lovely round off spices going in. Give it a good stir in now. This is going to need to cook on a nice low temperature still for a further 20 minutes. Then we're going to add the baby spinach in. So let's just pop the lid back on and leave it cooking for another 20 minutes. And we need to add the spinach. I think we've got time slightly more, but it's really great. It's looking really good. I'll just put it to camera so you can have a see. There's lots and lots of fluid from those tomatoes, so it's looking really yummy. We're just going to add this spinach, and it's going to wilt down. That needs to now cook for just a few more minutes to wilt the spinach down. Squash it in a bit. So there's 100 grams of spinach here, and it just wilt down. You'll be really surprised how quickly this reduces down in the pan. Right, that's the last bit in. We're just going to squish it in, pop the lid on lightly, and just cook it for just a few more minutes. And let's hope that spinach wilts down lovely. Okay, so it's time to dish up. It's looking really good. Let's have a quick look. There's quite a lot of sauce in there, and the tomatoes do mush down quite well. And so we're just going to put a few spoons of it in with the rice I've done. Just dish it up here. Let's get some of that lovely butternut squash out and some chickpeas. Okie dokie. Right. Okay, let's give it a taste. Oh, it's delicious. It's really, really great. You can taste all of those wonderful spices, all of those Asian spices in there, and almost the earthiness of the butternut squash. It's turned slightly sweet. It's beautiful. The spinach adds a certain sort of fresh taste to it, and the chickpeas are kind of creamy. It's really, really good. The onion, and it's just a total beautiful taste. Really aromatic, and the accompaniment of rice is perfect with it. I think you could eat it with, if you didn't want the rice, you could probably eat it with some naan breads or chapatis. It's actually quite an Indian sort of type of dish. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I do recommend you give it a try. It's a really lovely recipe. Here's the final dish. We put a nice garnish of fresh coriander on there. It's a really easy recipe to follow, and I think anybody can give it a try. It was a really different thing to do with the butternut squash, as normally I put it in a soup. So I think it's a really different thing to try, as I say, and you should give it a go. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and let me know in the comments down below, especially if you made the recipe. Thanks, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, bye.